What up, everybody? Welcome back to Furrow Publications YouTube channel. This channel talk about zines and DIY publishing, and I just wanted to show this off because this is one of the art exercises that I do from time to time. What I do is I grab a blank piece of paper and then I fold it up just like that, like a little accordion, and then I use each one of these little squares like a panel. And I don't overthink it. I think this page took me about like 7 minutes or so. But if you look at it, that's 16 panels. And in my mind, I keep wanting to get back to this, right? And obviously, I want to dial it in more. But I feel like this is good practice for me. And so I just kind of wanted to show what it was and the way my mind worked on it. So I never start with an idea or a story. I just kind of go. And so then I just start doodling the first panel. This is something that I need to get over because I usually start off with someone in bed. I get it. That's usually how the day starts for me, but I gotta get rid of this panel and do something better. But it was in this next panel that I said, you know what? Why not make him a Cyclops? In this next panel, I said, why not give him 3 legs? And then this one right here is another generic little cartoonist trick to the trade, which is like a yawn, which kind of usually shows the beginning of the day. This one right here, I just wanted to show the restroom and the walk from the bedroom to the restroom, showing that motion. I try to add legs here to show him walking across, but that came out garbage. Obviously, running the water on the sink. I like this little motion right here, right? These 3 panels right here. Even this panel right here, just if I would have fixed the legs up better, or maybe could have just done a silhouette of him right here, right? And then in my mind, I kept thinking to myself, what would a Cyclops do to get himself ready for the day? And I thought, like, they would have to take care of their eye, man. Like, I have to imagine that the way Cyclops would view things would be different than the way us two-eyed fellas view things, you know? So I don't know why that, it just made me feel like they would have some sort of special ointment that would go into their eye. And so then that's what this went into, right? But I had already drawn the glass, so I said, okay, you just open that up like it's a medicine cabinet, but it just has this one bottle for this, you know, for this Cyclops. And then he just drops it in there. Anytime I use eye drops on my eyes, I know it's never fun or smooth. So that's what this is. And then he gets himself ready. One of the things that I also try to do was, as I'm always reading, I'm learning, but the visual cues. So then I was like, all right, so then anything that's the mirror, obviously is going to be washed over. So like this one right here is supposed to be, you're looking at him, he's looking at himself on the mirror, and then we're looking at him looking, you know, spick and span and ready for the day. I don't know that translated well, but that's kind of what I was going for in that moment. And that's what I like about this art exercise, is that you don't really overthink it. You're trying to build habits, you know. And I always, you know, always talk about building habits versus just doing nice things. And the thing about building habits is that you're training yourself to just do this thing, right? To think like a cartoonist, right? Like I said, this took me, I don't know, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Very, very rough. But like, let's say I would have liked this page. What I would have done next is I would have scanned it and then reprinted it out in blue line. And after that, I would have used this kind of like my pencils, right? So then once I would have had that pencils in there, I would have came in and just did this a little more cleaner, right? Because like I said, this is just very, very, very rough hands. This is me just trying to get it done more than worried about what I'm getting done, right? Right, and I'm just fixing up one panel to show you guys, like, if I really did like this story, which this story I don't like, but it's that point of just trying to exercise that muscle of the cartoonist mentality. But, you know, I would have reprinted this in blue line, and then I would have came back and really cleaned it all up. This is the thing about, like, really loose stuff. that is fun because it's not, you're not being precious with it. Usually we're, as artists, we're a little too precious with everything that we do. Like, we want every stroke to just be perfect, and sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of times, actually, as an artist, it doesn't have to be perfect and shouldn't be perfect. Going back to visual cues, right? My mentality was like, how do I translate that it's always this thing? And then I said, I just do these dots that I'm not doing anywhere else, right? So these dots are supposed to translate that it's always the same thing right there. Yeah, that panel came out pretty strong. I like that composition. And like, that's why you do it, right? Because, not every composition is going to be a winner. So this is a fun exercise, you guys. Like I said, you just fold this sucker up. Boom. Then unfold it. You get your 16 panels in for the day. I feel like if you do 16 panels in a day, you are definitely exercising that cartoonist muscle that you ought to be exercising. So there you go, you guys. If you guys like this kind of stuff, don't forget, I also published a comic book zine called Feral Comics, issue 17, getting shipped out on the 15th of this month. If you guys are interested, there will be a link in the show notes for you guys to get any of the back issues, get this new issue, or get a year subscription. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Lates.